Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I'm out at Heroes Park in Meridian again today, and I have got a new drone, a drone that I've never flown before, and a brand that I don't think I've messed around with. I've got the SJRC F11 4K Pro. It's an interesting product to me because it does have a 2-axis gimbal, and I can tell you, as you guys have seen on my channel, I've been trying to find for a long time now an under $200 GPS camera drone that I can recommend to people as a starter. Now, we've had varied success there, but this is an intriguing product to me, and a lot of people have told me in comments, hey, you need to try that F11 because it's well thought of, I know, by a number of people. So we're going to try it out. It's got a 2-axis gimbal. It does shoot in 4K video. And in fact, let me grab the spec sheet here so I can give you all the good info. I printed everything off so I would make sure that I got it right. So, there's a lot of things that people are interested in. It's got a 2500 milliamp battery. They're saying a 20-minute flight time. As we know, heck, if you get 12 or 15 minutes out of it, then that'd be great. All of these drone companies, and trust me, all of them, including DJI, they exaggerate their battery life. Control distance is saying 1,500 meters or 1.5 kilometers, and Wi-Fi image transmission distance 800 meters. Well, so that effectively limits you to 800 meters because obviously you need to be able to see where you're going when you're flying the drone. So that's Wi-Fi distance. Now, my experience with these kind of drones, Wi-Fi drones in particular, you're probably not going to get that much range in an urban environment like I'm in here today, but we'll check it out and we'll see. Oh, let me correct you. I said 20 minutes flight time. They're saying 26. So I misspoke there earlier. So that's about, like I said, if we get 15 to 18 minutes out of it, I will call that a win. It is, and I can confirm this, about 4.5 hours to charge a battery, so you need to plan ahead. You need to plan the day before to get the batteries charged up and everything. And it does weigh 585 grams, so you do need to register your drone. Let's see, it does, 2-axis gimbal. That's very, very important. So what it's going to have is it's going to have a gimbal that's in the pitch axis and the roll axis, but what it will not have is the yaw axis. And that's okay, because pitch and roll are the ones that are most important, and it should help it achieve steady video. And I'm really kind of excited about this because it will shoot in genuine 4K in video, and it will take 4K pictures, so that's good. It does have a GPS follow me function, and it says on here image recognition follow me. I don't remember seeing that in the instructions though, but we'll find out as we get into it. And we already talked about the resolution 4K. It says that it will take a 32 to 128 gig SD card. In the manual it says that it has to be formatted to FAT32. That would limit you to a 32 gig card unless you partition it. So by that, did they mean that it would accept exFAT2? I don't know, but I can tell you the manual said FAT32. And they're asking for a U3 rated card if it's going to record in 4K. So that's a good sign. They're asking for a fast card. That means it's going to record in high definition. So that's important, and hopefully we'll get some really good video out of it. They're asking for a V30 rated card or a U3 rated card, which is a good thing. That means they want a high-speed card. That means hopefully we can look forward to some really good high-definition video out of this guy. So let me show you the box or the case and what's in the case. Okay, let me see if I can hold this up so you can see it. So you can see there's the drone itself and the transmitter, and you can see that I have not even unpacked it. I haven't peeled any of the plastic off of it yet. So you're gonna, the reason I'm showing you that is I want to show you that, hey, when I put it up in the air here, this is the first time that I will have flown this drone. Pretty good looking kit. The drone feels nice and solid, as does the controller. It's a full function controller, even though there is no OTG cable connection between your mobile device and the controller. It's Wi-Fi, but you know, it still should give us a pretty good connection. So let me get this thing all out of the box and get an SD card in it and get it all ready to go, and we'll put this guy in the air. Like I said, I guess I want to point out that it's a really kind of an impressive little kit here. They did a really good job, and it's a nice case. Oh, you can see I had the manual out. That's what's in that that little envelope there, the manual. I was just going over the manual. There is also a box in there with some spare props and, you know, all the usual stuff. Okay, folks, here's the drone itself in all of its glory, and you can see, like I said, here's the 2-axis gimbal, and what it won't do is this, but it'll tilt up and down, and it'll do the roll axis as well, and that's the main thing that you want. And as for SD card, there I've got a 32 gigabyte SanDisk card in there, U3 rated card, so we should be good to go. There may be a version of this that has downward facing sensors. This one does not. I mean, you've got these spots here that looks like an optical flow. These look like sonic sensors. There's nothing underneath them. They're just plastic. So, and that's okay. I don't think that's critical in this price range of a drone, but I just wanted to point that out to you. Pretty attractive piece, and it, like I said, it feels built pretty good as well. So yeah, looking forward to trying it out. Let me show you the remote. So here's the RC, and you know, again, it feels pretty good too. These are really essentially just handles down here on the bottom. There is the micro USB port for charging, which is always a good thing. When they have an internal battery on the RC, it means it's more powerful. That's the good thing about this RC. Now, the bad thing that I can see, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I don't see any wires going up into these antennae. So that tells me that these antennae are just superfluous, that you wouldn't even need to have them extended. I will have them extended just in case. It's just something I can't see there, but I don't see any wires going into the antenna, so I do not believe they're functional. And you know, you have the usual buttons here. This one, I believe, is the gimbal up and down. This one is supposed to be zoom, snap a picture, record video, on-off button, emergency stop, and you have to hold that down for I think like 3 seconds, something like that. Return to home button, and this is the speed setting. It's got 3 different speed settings on this drone, and then obviously right here is where you mount your mobile device, and your mobile device does connect Wi-Fi. Now, according to the instructions, you fire up the drone, you connect your mobile device Wi-Fi. It doesn't tell you in the instructions whether you turn on the RC first or not. I probably will. I'll probably turn on the drone, turn on the RC, then the mobile device and the app. What is the name of the app? It's the SJRC F Pro app, I believe, but I'm going to tell you here in just a second. Yeah, that is correct. It is the SJF Pro app. That's what we're going to use to fly this thing, and we'll try it out. So this first flight, we're just going to get it up in the air. We're going to try some video, just see how the thing flies, check range and things like that. Maybe if we have some time, we might try some intelligent flight modes. We'll definitely try the return to home. That's one thing you always want to do, is make sure that your drone is going to come back to you. So give me just a second, and I know I said it once before, but I'm going to say it again. We'll get this bird in the air. Hey guys, my GoPro quit just a few minutes ago, so it makes me think that I didn't start a recording with it. So I'm kind of starting this test over. I did have this drone up in the air once again, but we're going to try it again here. So we're ready to go. I've done all the calibrations, and let's take off here. And in order to do that, you have to arm the motors first, and that's both sticks down and in. And then we're going to hit takeoff on the app here, and there's a slider. And there she is. As you'll see, pretty steady, and that's impressive for a drone that does not have any kind of downward facing sensors. And you saw it move around there a little bit when I yawed it around, but let's bring it in a little bit. And yeah, maybe not quite that close. And let's move it back and forth. Yeah, move it back a little bit. So I'm not going to get too close with it here, because when you don't have those downward facing sensors, the drone can move around. Now, that's not a criticism. It's just a fact. The drone just has GPS and a barometer to tell it where it's at in space. So, so let's rock it back and forth, and you can see that gimbal in action there in the roll axis. And you know, I had to pull it back there because it was moving forward as I did that. So what we're going to do now, and I am going to, because I did this once already, I'm going to drop the camera down just a little. That's probably too far. I can tell you that the adjustment of the gimbal with the roller is sensitive. So anyway, let's do a manual droney. So we're going to do reverse and up. And we are in normal mode here. So we're at about, I'm looking about 6 meters per second. That's pretty darn quick. And let's run this guy out there. We're about 25 meters high. Let's run it out about 100 meters. And what I'm going to tell you is we'll hit a return to home here. I tried this earlier and it works, but that's something you should always do with a new drone, is make sure that return to home works like you expect it to. So I'm going to hit the button once, quick press of the return to home, and you can hear the beeping in the app, and I can see the drone. It's coming back now. Oh, I forgot to start recording. Let's do that right now. Or no, that was, well, it was in camera mode, and it looks like it started at recording. Well, we'll have the screen recording to show you here. That's funny. Well, maybe yeah, anyway, as long as we're getting a recording. And the drone's coming down, and let me get you kind of a vertical picture here so you can see it. And it's going to be a little bit off of the mat, but not the takeoff mat, but not too far. I mean, it's about, you know, it's a foot or maybe a little bit more, so that is absolutely acceptable. And that tells you that the GPS is accurate on the drone, and you know that if you hit return to home or you get low battery return to home, etc., it's going to come back to you. So I am going to stop recording. And I was trying that on the controller. That didn't seem to do it. Well, let's stop return to home. Yeah, there, okay, that did it. When I short pressed the record button here, it stopped it recording. Okay, so let's take off again, and I'm telling you, the battery life is good. I've been messing around with this guy for a while, and we've got that green line at the top of the app here, and it looks good. So let's go ahead and take off again. So, and I want to remind you, in order to take off after that, you do need to short press return to home again, and you'll know that you'll be able to take off because the beeping stops. So down and in to arm those motors, and let's just do a manual takeoff. Up on the stick, and there we go. And let me start recording here. I'm going to do that on the controller, and I can tell I'm recording because I see that countdown on the app here. So so let's just go forward and up. And again, I'm kind of want to test our top speed here. Let's get it up a ways, and we're about 5 meters per second, which is pretty good. And I'm telling you, the FPV looks good. Yeah, we're starting to drop down on that battery a little bit now. Now I went out earlier to the corner of the park, and I actually lost FPV connection. So I'm not going to go all the way out to that corner, but let's try and go out to this other corner here. And I do see a little bit of tilt in the gimbal as we did that yaw. So that's not uncommon, and we should see it. Yeah, now it's straightening out once you stop. So that, in this classification of drone, I think is perfectly acceptable. If this was a more expensive drone, I wouldn't like that. But let's go out to the other corner here and get you a good look at the Boise front. And this will be a good test of the video on this guy. And I'm making sure that I am pointed right at the drone, and I'm watching the drone travel there. And we're about 150 meters distant, and I still have good FPV signal. Like I said, I lost FPV signal earlier when I was out about 150 meters, but now it's good. So that's a good thing. So yeah, I mean, we're getting a nice. It's as you can see, it's a nice blue sky day today, and man, this is beautiful. And look at those mountains off in the distance. I'm really anxious to see what the video looks like on this guy. So let's move a little bit further forward. And I'm going to stop recording. Short press of that button. Yeah, and it stopped. So now I'm going to use the button that's on the left side of the controller and see if I can take a picture here. Yep, and it's telling me it's taking a picture. So this will be good. We'll get a chance to see what this looks like. So we're kind of getting in the. I see that our battery line is getting yellow, and yeah, I'm getting some choppiness on FPV here, but it's still responding. Whoop! Look at that! Oh, holy cow! Yeah. So that choppiness is a bummer. Okay, let's start recording again. I forgot to do that, so we're going to start recording. So we're recording again, and let's bring it back towards us. So I'm going to put it in high-speed mode, and I'm looking on. You can tell that on the controller here. It says sport mode, and let's go full tilt forward, and let's see what kind of speed we can get up to coming back to us. And you can see the drone pitch forward just a little bit. And yeah, about almost 9 meters per second. That's pretty darn good. Let's just go right over the top of us here. Drone is coming right over the top, and it's fun. I'm watching it right over the top of us. And I'm going to stay facing the drone here, and I'm going to yaw it around, and I'm watching the drone do that yaw. Let's drop the gimbal down just a little. Now, like I said, that gimbal adjustment is something that is really sensitive on this guy. So I'm kind of wondering if we can get this thing to go into low battery return to home. I'm just going to fly it around out here in the field and see if we can get a low battery RTH. Well, I'll tell you what, in sport mode, this thing moves right along. So I'm going to move it back into, well, now is camera mode, so we might as well try that. Let's spin it around here. Camera mode is the slowest mode, so that's where you're going to get the best cinematic footage. And again, as you saw, we yawed around there. It kind of tilted the gimbal a little bit, but watch it straighten out. So that, to me, that is, in this class of a drone, that's perfectly acceptable. The thing is, it does get back to normal. So it looks like about 3.5 meters per second in camera mode, which is perfectly acceptable. Okay, I'm going to drop some altitude here. And in fact, let's put it back into normal mode, and I am showing normal mode, so Yeah, that gives us a little bit faster. I really want to see if this guy will go. I want to get it down a little bit because I want it to go into its return to home height. Let's back it off and see if we can get it to go into low battery return to home. Let's head towards the flagpole over here. And we're going to stay out of everybody's way. We are not going to go over the top of the basketball court there. And I got a little bit of jitteriness on FPV there for just a second. But there's, I'm going to raise it up here so you can get a good look at the flag. That's always a good look. Whoop, boy, I'll tell you that yaw is a little bit sensitive. And you can see there's not much wind today. The flag is just hanging there on the pole. We are getting pretty darn low on battery, and it has not gone into low battery return to home. I'm kind of wondering what percentage it's going to have to be at to do that. So let's move it back out into the field. And I'm going to lower some altitude just, you know, in case we did have a power failure or something. I'm keeping it pretty close, but also, like I said, I'm wanting to see if we can get it into low battery return to home. And also giving you guys some video. And you'll, like I said, again, you'll see whenever I yaw it there, we're getting a little bit of a tilted horizon, but it gradually straightens itself out. I can tell you the drone handles really good. It's like everything else, you kind of get used to the controls. It's a fairly sensitive yaw, but it's not like so overly sensitive that once you fly it for a while, you can't get used to it. Boy, I'll tell you what, we're running that battery right down. And yeah, now you can see a little bit of wind on the flag. Holy, okay, there it is. See, it just went into return to home. So that's not me on the controls. So that's good to know. So as soon as you saw that red on the battery indicator there, it went into low battery return to home. That is awesome. That is exactly what you want it to do. So here it comes. And it's stopped up there, so I think it's not going to completely land. So let's see if I can manually put it into return to home. Yeah, I could. Yeah. So what it'll do on low battery, it will just come in close to you again. It won't. It won't land. So you're going to have to. If you want it to return to home at that point, you're going to have to manually hit it. But that's still fine. Drone low voltage, we still got a little bit of battery left, so we're good. And by the way, the little radar screen there you see in the bottom right works really well as to where the drone is pointing and where you're pointing the remote. And there it landed, and it's just off of the pad. You saw that. So yeah, while we're at it, let's look at that remote. And it's perfectly accurate. It's pointed true north right now. It's pointed magnetic north. Well, I don't know if it's true north or magnetic north. It's north. But let me move the controller, and you will see the little ray in front of it will change. So that'll allow you to keep that pointed at the drone. And the arrowhead of the drone is the way the nose of the drone is pointed. That's just great stuff. So let's stop recording here. You always want to remember to do that, particularly on these lower priced drones. You want to stop recording so that you you don't have a corrupted video file. Often, if you don't do that, it won't close out the file, and sometimes you can save those files, sometimes you can't. So the best thing to do is just to remember to turn off recording. So let me get everything shut down, and we'll do a quick conclusion. Very pleased with what I've seen here today. Hey guys, the SJRC F11. Wow, I got to tell you, have been people telling me for a long time that I needed to try this drone out, and I'm glad I did. Very impressed. Flies great, no surprises. It just does. One of the litmus tests that I use is does it do everything the manufacturer says it does? And it does. Now, we didn't try any of the intelligent flight modes or anything like that today, waypoints or anything. I'll save that for another video. But what I wanted to do here is try out the video quality. Now, you guys will have already seen it. I won't see it till I get home and put that SD card in my computer. But I can tell you what I saw on FPV looked really good. The FPV feed on this thing was much more clear than some more expensive drones, so that's impressive. The only issue I had, and I don't think I captured it, I don't think I had my GoPro on, so you may not have seen that in the video, but I did get out to the corner of the park out here, and I did have FPV freeze up on me at one point. I was out about 150 meters or so. Now, they advertise 800 meters FPV, but they even say in the thing that is in a place where there's no interference. I'm in an urban area here. There's a lot of interference, so it's understandable. That is not a knock on the drone because, like I said, there's a lot of Wi-Fi interference in an area like this. The main thing that we're interested in is the quality of the video, and I am got a good feeling about it. Like I said, I haven't seen what's on the SD card yet, but I can tell you what I saw on the FPV feed was very, very stable, looked really good. So like I said, I've got a pretty good feeling. The drone flew great. It's got 3 speed modes. They all worked awesome. I mean, it's not like it's a super powerful drone, but it's no slouch either. This may be an under $200 drone that I can really recommend. And in fact, I'm going to tell you, based on everything that I have seen so far, this is the first drone that I've seen in that under $200 category that I can kind of unequivocally recommend. The other ones, there's always some issues. You know, things like the MJX B20, fantastic drone, or the B12, both of those fantastic drones. They fly great. The problem is they don't have a gimbal on them. It's got electronic image stabilization, and that one, you know, as long as you're going really slow, it works good. But this guy, you can fly it at speed, and this 2-axis gimbal appeared to work very well. And I pointed out as we were flying that when you would yaw, you'd get a little bit of tilt in the camera. That's okay in this price category. As soon as you stopped, it straightened itself out again, which is perfect. That's all you can ask. Like I said, if it was a more expensive drone, I wouldn't be happy with that. But in this price category, that is perfectly acceptable. Gosh, what else could I say? Oh, the return to home worked great on it. The app, as you saw, the app is pretty bare bones, but it's adequate. It has, you know, everything that you need to fly the drone. The controls were good. You know, I mean, if I'm going to get nitpicky, the gimbal controller was a little bit sensitive, and so, you know, what I'm going to say is, you know, you stop, adjust the gimbal. So a lot of times you're flying, with a more expensive drone, you can move that gimbal while you're maneuvering the drone. It's a little bit tougher with this guy because that gimbal wheel is so sensitive, but that's no big deal. You just simply set the gimbal where you want it, then make whatever move you're going to make. So yeah, I'm impressed with this guy, and I'm really glad that I got to try it out. So that said, the folks at Banggood have sent me a discount code for it, and I think you can get this thing for about $190, which I'm gonna say that's a bargain to get a drone of this quality for that kind of money. So yeah, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. All right, bye. The SJRC F11 4K Pro. You got to get the name right. All right, see you guys later. Bye.